What's going on, guys? Welcome to this episode of Merricks Garage. Today, part 2 of the K30 Blazer rear link build. I got a lot of stuff done. I got the 14 bolts stripped down and the truss on. I got a lot of things prepped and ready to go. I got a lot of stuff removed off the old frame. I got the new frame underneath. It's been a busy couple of weeks, and I want to show you guys what I've got up to. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I want to say thank you for coming by. It is basically a love letter to my K5 Blazer that I've had since high school. I began documenting and building it about 5 years ago, and it's kind of taken on a life of its own. I've added more square bodies to the mix. I bought military trailers, and I document all my projects, all my builds, all my trips, a lot of the tools and fab work that I use and get, and I love engaging with you guys and look forward to the comments that I get from you guys every week. So yeah, sit back, enjoy this video, hit that subscribe button if you're not already connected with me, and let's go do it. I had a very productive day yesterday. It was not a fun day in particular. I was doing a lot of grinding and cutting to get the axle tubes down to raw metal so I can get the truss mounted on. But let's take a look. Here you can see I've got a lot of the stuff all burned down and out of the way where the axle perches were, and as a result, the truss is sitting on there really well. Yeah, this is gonna burn in nicely. Also got a chance to really blast it with brake parts and get this thing all cleaned out. I may need to blast it again one more time, but yeah, happy with how this is looking. While I don't have nearly as much work to do on the 14 bolt as I did on the Dana 60, I still do have quite a lot of cleanup, prep, and welding to do on it. I'm not swapping the internals, I'm not putting a different locker on there, but what I am doing is cutting off all the brackets, putting on a truss, converting it from leaf spring to links, and making sure everything lines up, everything is good before I burn it in, paint it, and throw it back under the truck. Having this nocturnal welding axle cradle has made my life so much easier. Moving the axle around, getting it positioned where it's easiest to work on is super clutch. Thanks to Elijah for this awesome tool. With the truss mounted up and tacked in place, I'm now ready to throw the final bead down on these two right here. Let's burn it in. I took this opportunity with the hubs off the truck to replace some stripped studs. It's a lot easier to do this with them off the vehicle than it is to do with it on the vehicle. And I did have a couple that were pretty mankered, so replacing them seemed like the prudent thing to do. As if I needed any more reason to love the 14 bolt full floater, take a look at how big this thing is. This is the ring gear. I've got the pinion out, I'll show you that in a second, and it's just massive. There's a beautiful ring gear spinning in there, and here is the pinion. Once again, this thing is so huge. So I pulled this out to clean it all up. And pop it back in here real quick. So what I'm hoping to get done today, and I think it's a pretty reasonable goal,
I gotta get this space sorted, and that's why everything's out right now. I would like to get the frame welded up on the bottom, but I'm gonna focus on pulling stuff off this frame so I can hypothetically roll this frame underneath today and just kind of get a look at how it's gonna sit and lay. Start making adjustments as I need before I start cutting into the factory frame. So yeah, that's where we're at. Whew, let's do it. This is the first time I've been able to get the frame under the truck, and I am cautiously optimistic right now. It seems to be lining up pretty well. So let me show you guys where we're at. So you can see I have plenty of frame. Fuel lines have been DC'd. So fuel line is DC'd, no more fuel in the tank. Well, there's probably some fuel in the tank, but all the cross structure and inboarding kit is being pulled out. All the shocks are out. There's the brake line, and it's just dumping down this bottle, and I'm hopefully bleeding the whole system. So next step is to cut the exhaust, because I've hit my head on this guy about 30 times today. Drop the tank, and then transfer some of the load over onto these jack stands that I'm going to put right up under here.
This is the part where I hope I don't die, or at least if I do, that my kids will know what happened to me. It's incredibly morose. What I'm going to do right now is I need a jack. I need to transfer weight off the jack stands. I installed them wrong. I shouldn't have extended them all the way up. I should have extended about halfway up so I still had the Acme thread to raise it up and down. As I did it, it's all extended and the Acme thread can't go up right now, so they're useless as extending and as telescoping jack stands. So I need to fix that. The way I'm going to do it is just to use the high lift jack to get some weight off of the jack stands. Gas tank's out. Time to call in backup. This is just too sketchy to do by myself. I'm not that stupid. The last few weeknights have given me some time to clean up and to pull some stuff off the frame and to just kind of get organized. I feel like I'm starting to find my groove here a little bit. Stripping the frame down has made such a huge difference in feeling accomplished, because I'm able to look at it now and recognize, okay, this is where things are lining up, this is where things are going to go. I can start building my plan for the next part of the project. So I'll show you where I've got to as of today. As you can see, I've taken as much as I can off of this frame. A lot of the wiring and plumbing has come off, and yeah, let's get you under here. So cut the exhaust out. I've got to refigure that all out, and then the gas tank is out, the bumper's off. So this frame is ready to be cut out. It's very, very close. Okay, let's talk about shaving the differential. What I am gonna do is I'm gonna take this lip off. That way I'll be able to smooth this out so there won't be a whole big lip that's gonna hang things up, but I'll still have the bottom bolt for the diff cover. So I'm gonna pull out the bandsaw, take a whack a cut here right now, and then get out the flap disc and see where we end up. Yeah, you can get a ton of extra clearance by doing it. Is it worth the significant work that I think it is to do it properly to gain that extra 1.5 inches? Some guys might say, yes, that's definitely worth it. For me, it's just not worth it. So I shaved it down with the angle grinder and the bandsaw,
And I got right down to, shoot, I probably took 3/4 of an inch off. I can still use the lower bolt hole. In fact, when we put the diff cover back on, we'll be able to see exactly, roughly how much came off. But it's nice and smooth underneath now, and yeah, so that's what that looks like. I'm happy with how this axle's coming together.
Well, shaving the 14 bolt is a popular modification for rock crawlers who want to get rid of this big lip that hangs down at the bottom of the pumpkin. Now, to do it properly requires quite a bit of work. You're actually going to cut out about 1 inch. You're going to weld in a pocket to support the floor. You're going to get your ring gear machined. You're going to have to get a new diff cover. I just don't know if it gets me that much. I am going to trim the ridge off right here and smooth it down so it's not going to hook on things like it has a tendency to do. If you do want to shave your 14 bolt, I totally get it. I think it's a great upgrade. I think it's a great modification. It's just not for me. I can count on one finger the amount of times that my differential has been hung up by that lip, and it just seems like an excessive amount of work, possibly dealing with leaking diff covers, although I kind of doubt that, to get it done properly. So if you're going to do it, great. Do it properly. Don't just skimp away at it with a sawzall. Get it done properly. Get a kit for it, weld it in, get your ring gear machine down, do it properly.
See, that's where I want it to be. There's my bracket. There's where I'd marked it on the frame. You can see I'm going to be about 12 inches back from the front link bracket. The frame that I've built is going to be long, so I'm going to have to cut it down. I'm rethinking what I'm going to do for the rear bumper. Whether I'm going to block out my old bumper and see if that works, or if I'm going to transfer the Gauntlet DIY 4x bumper over onto the Suburban. I don't know. I got a lot of stuff floating around up in the head. But yeah, it's coming together. I am really, really stoked on how things are starting to look. The axle's pretty much finished. I just need to slap it back together, burn in the welds, paint it, and it'll be ready to go. But that will come towards the end when I've mocked up everything and I'm happy. Then I'll tear it all down and paint it. So, oh, and yeah, check this out. This is my bucket of parts that I've cleaned. So these are all old parts that have gone through the electrolysis tank. Stuff that's been on my truck for years. These leaf springs, these overload springs, look at that. So cool. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them right now. They're a good implement to have around, a good straight edge. I'm thinking about trying to build some furniture or something dumb like that. But yeah, here's the tank doing its job. Little bubbles. Little bubbles. So, yeah, modified the tank to take more stuff and give me a little bit deeper. Progress on the truck. Shuffling a bunch of things around the shop, making some space. Yeah. We're gonna rock and roll here pretty soon.